Hello and welcome to Africa Today. I am Esther Mokwariola. From a necessary vacation to valid agitations, organized sit-outs and rowdy standoffs, it has been interesting in recent months in Nigeria, where the climax of another political phase saw an ordinary Saturday virtually become a Palm Sunday in the blink of an eye. It was like a movie watcher's arriving the scene as images hit the screen for the sequel of a blockbuster movie at the cinemas, with the media living up to the occasion in an event tagged Buhari Returns. And so we ask, what are your thoughts on political developments in Nigeria as reactions continue to trail President Buhari's return from medical vacation? You can join the conversation and share your thoughts with us on Twitter at TVC News NG. We take a report, and Africa Today will continue. Welcome on board.
There
was more anger when an audio message believed to be the president's voice was released as a Salah message in Hausa. Again, he spoke to a group of imams and ulamas on telephone who called him during a prayer for the president's recovery organized by the Kano state government.
He has
been out for 300 days.
These sharply divided Nigerians. President Buhari's health and the way it was poorly handled caused a rise in fake news. Rumor mongers capitalized on the president's loud silence and blatant refusal to address Nigerians. Ekiti State Governor Ayo Fayoshe became the toast of many who wanted any kind of information.
You know, I went to see him.
He dismissed the acting president's visit to the president as deceit, and he even threatens to publish damaging pictures that will show President Buhari's true health status.
We will not in any way.
Senator Shehu Sani jumped onto the bandwagon of those speaking in favor of President Buhari's medical vacation when he figuratively compared Nigeria to the animal kingdom using the hyenas, jackals and Lion King analogy. The Abuja house in London, where President Buhari was receiving medical attention, soon became a destination for select politicians, friends and well-wishers of Mr. President. Street protests resulted from the president's men's failure to provide relevant information that will placate the resume or resign protesters. Charlie Boy led a few people out to protest, and the hashtag resume or resign became a top trend on social media. There was a counter-protest by another group in solidarity with Mr. President.
They had some tracks that they were obviously sponsored by the opponents to do that, and nobody sponsored anybody here.
The controversy swelled, caused by the crisis of misinformation or lack of information.
Good afternoon, sir.
Until the president's media team visited London, naysayers did not believe comments from those that saw President Buhari. The coming week would have seen some other huge protests already planned in support of the president. President Buhari's homecoming will end the resume or resign protest and counter-protest. The president's return means his doctors have certified him fit again to get back to work. If the president does travel again, Nigerians certainly won't mind periodic briefing about the state of health of their leader.
Welcome back. It is now President Buhari's second spell on medical leave this year after he left for London on May the 7th, handing over power to the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, who arguably coordinated the affairs of the nation in a commendable manner. National concerns remain glaring amidst congratulatory messages the president continues to receive from family members, well-wishers, and even those who called for his resignation while on vacation. Joining me in the studio on Africa Today, I have Alester Wilcox, political analyst in Nigeria. And on Skype, I have Dr. Adedeji, Nigerian-based medical doctor, public health consultant, and social commentator. Good to have you both, gentlemen, on the program.
Thank you very much, Esther. It's good to have you here.
Now, let me begin with you now, Lester. What do you make of the president's return after 104 days out of office?
Well, I have had to be one of those that defend the president's absence, even though I'm not part of his media team. But because as a Nigerian, being concerned as to what is happening and not being too happy with the way most Nigerians take the president's absence, So I found myself in most fora defending the president absent. But he's coming back now. I saw a man that stepped down the stairs of the aircraft in a very, very fashioned military manner. A man that was not aided by anything. That showed that he was really, really fit to continue his office, his duties as president of Nigeria. And also I was so gratified when I heard his voice this morning and saw him on television addressing the nation. So that gives me a lot of signs of relief and gives me because I have been worried, really, really worried personally, because I know the amount of hopes, aspirations that Nigerians place on this man. And so when information, I had this inbuilt faith in me that whatever thing that is going through with his health, he will pull through. Yeah. But you know, again, when you keep hearing informations, people talking, a lot of bad feelings, a lot of negative talk, one has to be very concerned. So his coming back gives me a lot of relief. And I think I'm happy, and I want to formally welcome the president. President, you are welcome. Continue to do the good job that Nigerians elected you to do, and do it in a more better fashion. All right,
Doc, do you share the same sentiments as Alesta?
Quite honestly, I agree with Alexa in the sense that, I'm a medical doctor. I appreciate that this kind of things that one can fall ill, and I think there was too much of cynicism in the way we treated the matter of the president. And then, for me, I think it was rather unfortunate the way people were saying we should know what is wrong with the president, he should broadcast to the nation, he should tell us what. That is totally, for me, I felt it was totally unnecessary. And the sense that the medical state of any individual is his own personal.
All right, since you're having some, all right, go ahead.
People like to play the ostrich.
Okay. Go ahead,
They like to play the ostrich. Is the president, is a private, is a public citizen, and so what? I mean, I use the analogy in one interaction with people. The MD of a company, if he falls ill and he travels, does he come back to say, this is what happened to me? Is he not the first citizen of that company? You see, people must learn to begin to respect people's individuality. If I be a president, it doesn't mean that he can put on pieces of those. If we know what is wrong with him, what are we going to do about it? Are we going to treat him? Are we going to make it any better because we know? Or is there going to be any change because we know? I think people should get responsible. And because of what we have been through in this country, people are beginning to abuse the privileges of citizenship. And I think we need to begin to understand where our freedom, our independence, a desire to know ends. That's my attitude, but I'm happy that it's back.
All right, let me quickly come in here. I'm sorry for interrupting you there, but you said that Nigerians do not really have to know what really is wrong with the president. But most Nigerians here say that, hey, they're paying taxes for our president to be treated outside the country. So they have every reason to know what is really wrong with their president. Take, for instance, now, you're a child and your father is not well. You might want to know what is wrong with your father. So it's more or less being concerned. What exactly is wrong with our president?
No. You see, there's a difference between concern and a sense of entitlement to what is wrong with the president. We cannot feel concerned. Our concern does not extend to the fact that we need to know exactly what is wrong with this man. I mean, the man said he's ill. He did everything that's constitutionally expected of him, and then he went up. But the fact that the nation is treated, I mean, we have nations across the world who had the same experiences. So we can't begin to use him as a reason. He needs to tell us. Why does he need to tell us what is wrong with him? If he chooses on the long run to say, this was what I went through as he did the last time, look, I've never been this sick in my life. He didn't have to tell us his diagnosis. If we know his diagnosis, what are we going to do about it? Are we going to exorcise it from him? Are we going to take it away? What are we going to do? So I think people should need to understand this man, as is a public citizen, as the president of Nigeria, he has his private rights and desires to take things as he wants. But he cannot begin to broadcast his illness. I don't think that should be an expectation from the people. Even for those who know, they should be able to guide the people to say, look, this is not a necessity. But we can have concern.
Okay, let me hold your thoughts for there now, Doku. We need to go on a quick break. You're watching Africa Today, and we've been discussing the president's return after 104 days out of office. Stay with us for more discussions after this. After his broadcast messages on Monday, President Buhari sent a letter of resumption to the National Assembly, having spent more than 100 days on medical leave. And according to reports, the commander-in-chief would be attending to national duties from home, at least for now. Well, Alester, I believe you heard the president giving his broadcast speech earlier today. Yeah. How would you evaluate it?
Well, the broadcast was very, very brief, precise, straight to the point. All that he needed to tell Nigerians was just to thank Nigerians and address the core issue of insecurity, which lies most in the heart of the president. This president has never shied away of looking at the fact that two things are seriously wrong with the country, and that's corruption and insecurity. And so he used the opportunity of thanking Nigeria. The broadcast was just about 6 minutes. So he used the opportunity to thank Nigerians and to emphasize the issue of security and national unity, because he touched on two major areas, which is talking about the agitation that has been going on, people threatening fire and brimstone, and then talking about the insecurity of insecurity in the country, which he left in a bit better shape, but now it has taken a turn for the worst. So I think for me that was a smart broadcast, and I commend. Unfortunately, Nigerians are asking so many questions. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, we're expecting to hear that a cup of garri will not become 2 naira, or a tube of yam will turn to 50 kobo." Or that is, for me, it's arrant nonsense. Sorry to use that word here, because I don't even understand what we really want. Nigerians were the ones shouting, "Oh, we want to see the man." And like Doku said, the level of mischief that characterized this president's medical vacation was more than the genuine concern. Those who are calling for, we want to know what is wrong because we can pray for him, that is mischievous. If you are talking about taxpayer, and I tell the nation, even if today President Muhammad stop being president today, finishes his term and stop being president, Nigeria will still foot his medical bill 100% until his lifetime. So that you are paying somebody's medical bill today does not give, today nobody can ask a passenger what is wrong, what are we paying bill for? So the level of mischief that was associated with that, with the president absent, was more than a concern. We have some highly placed purpose, we are saying, governors and all whatnot, making some highly provocative, insulting, and degrading statements about the president. So for me, his first speech today was just to thank Nigerians and set the tone as to where he wants to go. He wants to tackle insecurity. And I think any Nigerians that feels the burden of his fellow Nigerians concerned with level of insecurity in the Northeast should be able to know that, yeah, this man means business. And again, talking about the issue of this separatist movement, and that is what is so concerned to Nigerians now. And I think he has set the tone as to where he wants to go. And that is, for me, it's appropriate and very, very in order. And he just written to the National Assembly. As at the time he was even making that broadcast, I would say technically, he was still not yet assuming power as a president. Because until the letter gets to the National Assembly and the acknowledged receipt, he's still not assuming. So, but I'm sure within this period, we just got the news that the letter has been sent to the National Assembly. So he has now assumed power. He can now look at what is left on the ground, what the acting president, he get briefing from everybody, formal briefing. This is where we are on this. Then he can now make official statements or direction as to where he wants to go with the economy, with this, with that, and other things. So, but as far as the briefing is concerned, I give the president 100% thumbs up. That was appropriate and apt.
All right. That is from your own point of view, but from some Nigerians now, they feel that the president didn't really, go to the areas of restructuring, because this matter has been on the discourse for some time. So the unity of the country, yes, according to him, is not negotiable. But some say it should have been more diplomatic, because you have agitations that are, according to Nigerians, are more genuine and has been there for some time. So should it just be slapped, the door be slapped totally, in terms of, shoving, let us forget what we're talking about and, move on like nothing's ever happening in Nigeria?
No, the president was clear about it. He said there are genuine agitations. Now, agitations that emanate from threats. Let's not even look at these agitations. Where are they coming from? And the president will run a constitutional democracy. There's a constitution. The president, as powerful as commander-in-chief as he is, cannot create one state, cannot change anything in the in the concurrent and the exclusive list. And he has said it clearly. The National Assembly, no matter how bad we see them today, no matter how imperfect they are, the constitution we are operating today gives them that right to amend the constitution. So it is only that body that has a sole responsibility. The president cannot sign in the resolution into law with a stroke of the pen. There is no way. And I understand some people are giving some lame duck solution. We should dissolve everything. The president should step aside. National Assembly step aside. They will now create a quasi-government made up of ex-nationality. Which constitution will back that up? Where would that come from? It's only National Assembly that can never move a motion to say from today we want to suspend it. So he has done what is apt by saying any agitation for restructuring, for whatever panel beating of Nigeria, bacchanal of Nigeria, can only come from the National Assembly. He, as commander-in-chief, cannot do it, except we are calling for the military to come, because the only military that can do with fiat. And I'm not sure any Nigerians with his right senses will opt for such a solution. Only military can use their fiat to suspend our constitution and say, okay, from today, we are doing this, we are doing that, and they back it up with a decree. No consultation. So, but as it is now, the president is working within the lines of constitutionality, and I think every Nigerians should see it that way. And what that president is going to be put, it's not by demonstrating, it's not by issuing threats, it's not by thinking that you are more better than the other people. It's to go through the channels. Every threat, every agitation has a constituency that has a representative, that have a senator, a House of Rep member, and so put pressure on those ones. This is what we want. Raise a bill, raise a motion, and if they are not doing it, you come back home, you bring them to task. We'll do this for us, and then by the time such pressure goes to such body that has that right, that I don't think the president can say no if a bill comes to his table and then he overrides it. Then we know the president is now at fault. Right,
really a heated one here I'm having with Lester. Dr. Dokun, I believe you just had Lester's own point of view, but briefly tell us what you make of the president's national broadcast. Hello, Dr. Dokun, can you hear me? All right, it seems we're having some audio challenges there, but let me quickly come back to you now. Yes, before we came on this discussion, we had a little brief intro which says that the president has already written to the National Assembly to, assume office again. But this time around, it will be from his home.
Yes.
Now, there are already concerns as to his capabilities now to handle the problems Nigeria really has. And working from home, is that enough? Because I mean, let's be more realistic here.
Yes.
Now the president is going to be working from his home.
Yes.
And he has these issues that of Nigeria that is so much. Is he really capable of doing this?
The president does not need to start boxing everybody or carry gun or move from place to place to get things done.
But are you doubting his capabilities?
I'm not in any doubt about the president's capability. You see, today as we speak, the president of Algeria, he has been on a wheelchair for the past 3 years. And the country is running. You see, what we need is structures. The president, once you even come to the president's table, is the final. He delegates responsibilities. So what should come to his table is the final product of whatever that he has delegated. He has ministers. He has an able vice president. He has a secretary to the government. He has every apparatus of all those bits and bits of personnel and institutions that are working for Nigeria. The president will not come to Bill Road. The president will not be the IG of police that will go and that will start chasing kidnappers and armed robbers around. The president is not the chief of army staff that will be fighting the war in the middle in the northeast. The president takes briefing. The president gives directive. The president takes the final report position. So that for me, yes, it could be tasking, but I don't think it is something that somebody cannot do from his house. I'm not saying it is absolute. This is a 74. We elected a 74-year-old man. We believe in his capability, and he worked hard within his first 2 years in office. Within the first 18 months in office, we saw this president travel all over the country, all over the world. We saw him sometimes he just barely spent a night on air and he's back on the next trip. We saw all that. We saw the man went to Gambia 3 times within 2 weeks. On 3 occasions within 2 weeks to resolve that. That was even when, after he came back from Gambia, that he felt sick in that January before he was rushed out of the country. So the capability is not in doubt.
So
his mental faculties, his mental faculties are correct. You saw him. So even if he sits in his bed and get briefing, if he's able to attend council meetings I think Nigerians should give this man a benefit of a doubt. It is only when you discover that his presence in the country is creating some mismatch. We're having an economy that is recovering faster than we even think. We're having an exchange rate that is fast crashing, faster than it was even rising up in the early days. We're having the government commissioning hybrid agricultural programs. We saw the one that was running in Kebbi, the biggest hybrid in Africa. We saw a country that is working gradually to. Recently, the minister said we've gotten a 6,000 megawatts of electricity. That is where Nigeria should be looking up to.
So it shouldn't worry you that the president has been away for 5 months this year alone.
It worries me that the president was sick.
All right.
That is what worries me. And I'm delighted and I'm happy that the president is now back. And his doctor, according to him, he said he can only come out when his doctor said so. And if his doctor said for him that he's fit to come back home to Kono, I think he should take it easy, introduce himself back to the hustle and bustle with care so that he doesn't relapse, and then let us give him a chance to complete his 10th term in office. All the ministers, if there's a need to sack minister, he will do that from his house. He doesn't need to come to the air. He doesn't need to be all over the street of Abuja. He let him walk at his pace. Okay. What Nigeria should be expecting is the delivery of dividends of democracy. But in terms of his personal movement or how he moves his file, that should not concern Nigerians. We should bother that and make him to become fitter, to become better. That is what I think Nigerian people, and that's what I'm bothered about. But as far as the sense of responsibility, which he has taken back, as later he's doing, I think he has the capability of doing it. He can delegate them, he can do them by himself, he can send his letters, he is capable, he is not incapacitated in any way, and then he can do his job.
And if this happens again, what next? If he goes back for medical leave?
If he has to go back for medical leave, and he has transmitted power, it is not his moral obligation on himself. Do I keep going on medical leave, or should I leave the scene for others to continue? That is where his moral obligation comes to count. Nigerians have, I will even say that if Nigerians are giving him all the benefit of doubt, which they have not, because the opposing views were getting louder than even those that have genuine concerns. Anybody has the right to be sick. And what we should pray is that this does not happen again. We've gone through this route before. We know the consequences, the outcome. But we thank God that this time around, the outcome is different. And we are seeing a taking care president, and the president that is ready, that came back. So let him take it easy so that whatever gains he has made with his health does not relapse. Right. And let him delegate more responsibilities. Still, his vice president is still active. The ministers, anyone that is not working, should please be shown the way out, and let us reinvigorate government. All the people that are around him that may not be serving his purpose, he has the right to get them in and bring in people that can serve his purpose.
All right, let me quickly come to Dr. Dokun now. I think I can hear you clear. We can get your audio now. Dr. Dokun, I believe you've just been hearing what Alex has been saying all along, but what are your views so far, very briefly?
Quite honestly, to a large extent, I agree with Alesta. You know, the thing that bothers me is the level of cynicism in the country. We hardly believe anything anymore. We just we depend on the things we want to believe in, and then our own narrative is what matters to us. Look, the thing is, I would say the president can sleep in his room and work, but the thing is, a president can work at his own pace as long as he has able lieutenants to do it. We all know FDR in America. He had polio. For many years, he was sitting in his wheelchair. He won a second term. So look, all these capabilities, as long as he's not mentally incapacitated, there's nothing that is wrong with him from performing. He doesn't have to go and be running after kidnappers, running after Boko Haram. The thing is, they set policy guidelines, and then he tells people what to do, and then there's a report, there's a meeting, there's a regular meeting, and he doesn't even really have to be at those meetings. He can be briefed as he chooses, and then he does the work as is expected. The important thing is for us to have a good economy, employment to be down, and then to do the things that Nigerians have voted for him for. I think it's the elite in this country that are more of a problem to this country than the ordinary people. We are the ones who sit and begin to analyze within our own understanding and conceptualization. They say, this is what I expect. Do we even engage with the ordinary people? Some of us that are analyzing and making noise all over the place, how do we relate to the people who work with us? How do we relate in our own neighborhood? You see, we must begin to understand. We cannot just transplant things to the president because he's president, and then there's a gargantuan expectation from him when we don't do the same things that we talk about.
All right. All right, let's leave it at that for now because of time factor. But I'd like to thank you very much, Dr. Dokun Adedeji, public health consultant and social commentator. It's a pleasure to have your thoughts on the program. And as well, Lester Wilcox, political analyst here with us in Nigeria.
Thank you so very much. It's my pleasure. And I wish the president well. And please, those who are skeptical about the president, give him a chance. God has proven that you are wrong and God alone is right.
All right, well said. Thanks a lot. Now, at a time when lessons from the past act as guidelines for the future, recent events have shown that leaders are also humans. The position of president is no easy job, as health can fail and fitness can wane at any point. Amidst emerging national challenges and evolving political realities, Nigeria can only continue to pray for President Buhari, even as they urge him to get down work as fast as he can. And that's our package for today. But don't forget to join the conversation as usual on Twitter at TVC News NG. And also follow me for updates around Africa at Esther TVC News. Until the next one, I am Esther Makwariola. And always remember, change starts with you.